Welcome, everybody. It's another exciting edition of the Sports Hole. I'm your host, Luke. With me, as always, XFL Jim, rock and roll Matty Goldberg. Gentlemen, what's going on? What's this bowl you were talking about before we got on air?
The Scooters Coffee. It's the Frisco Bowl. Everyone, the Frisco Bowl's been around forever. It just changed the sponsors. It's the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl. Memphis, West Virginia.
You know, I have a guy in a group chat that went into Ole Miss, and we've been busting his balls really hard about Ole Miss. We're like, have fun at the Minor Key Car Key Bowl, the fucking Hellman's Bowl.
Which one are they actually at?
I don't know, but anything not making the playoffs this year is a shitty bowl for them.
The Tax Slayer Gator Bowl versus Duke.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, remember when the Gator Bowl was like a cool bowl?
It's still, I mean, as far as the bowls go, it is one of the
It used to be a New Year's Day bowl game.
I think it still is, isn't it?
Probably, but
no, it's on the second.
They're all different days now, and it's just.
I'd say if we're talking just bowls in general, like the non-playoff bowls that have upgraded themselves, the number one and number two, the Pop-Tart Bowl is probably number one. People are going crazy for it.
What about the Mayo Bowl? Because the
Duke's Mayo Bowl is the one, Matty.
That's all for novelty.
Well, that's what these bowl games kind of have to be. That's all they are.
Yeah, and it's great, promotion for these brands.
Yeah. Did you guys see anything for the Pop-Tart trophy? They just unveiled the trophy this weekend.
No, what is it?
It's a working toaster. It's like an actual trophy, but the top half of it is an actual toaster.
You can plug in the trophy?
You can plug it in, yeah.
Okay.
If you have a bowl game with an interesting sponsor, it can go a long way.
Like the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl between Colorado State and Miami of Ohio.
Snoop Dogg has his own bowl?
Yeah, well, the friggin' the LA Bowl Gronk is hosted by Gronk. That's a whole thing that they're leading into for the LA Bowl.
Okay.
At SoFi.
The bowl is tonight. The over-under 60. I did not touch it because I want to see a bowl game first to kind of see.
Matty, there's already been one bowl game. You didn't watch the one last Saturday?
No, I missed it. I was playing poker.
Yeah, we had the Salute to Veterans Bowl, South Alabama, Western Michigan.
I think we all
right after Army Navy.
I think we all ate our shit on fucking Army though.
I think most people. I saw a lot of people on Navy. I hit the over. That's all I care about.
I was on Army. The Frisco, Texas, at Toyota Stadium. Where is Toyota Stadium?
In Frisco, Texas.
Who plays there?
What, the Frisco? I don't even remember the Frisco Bowl being a thing.
It's always one of the earlier ones. They because they play.
I've never heard of the town. I've never heard of the
It's
bowl.
also okay. Well, disrespecting football, first of all, there, Luke. It's the home of the FCS National Championship.
By
the way,
first off, check yourself.
You know, Notre Dame, they find a really small guy to be their mascot. They're let's find a 5'1".
Is he always a short guy?
Yeah, he has.
He's got to be like a leprechaun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, West Virginia has a beard-looking guy. They just find the dirtiest, scummiest looking guy on campus, and they make him the mascot.
Yeah, they probably just grab someone in attendance every night. He's not a normal
he's got a neck beard, hasn't showered in months.
I bet Memphis. So after this show, I think I got it at 6. Let me check. I got it at 4.5.
All right. Well, I'm rooting for you.
I took Memphis because it's the whole. We also had that on the notes. It's the whole West Virginia. They fired their head coach.
Uh-oh.
They're bringing in Rich Rod.
Who's coming back, baby?
Dude, this is the year of coaches coming back. Scott Frost back at UCF. Rich Rod back at West Virginia.
Richard Rodriguez.
I think that's actually. I think Rich Rod's a good hire. I really do think it's a really good hire.
Why not? He's been doing good at Jacksonville State.
He was good when he was at Arizona.
Yeah, he was good for a few seasons, and it kind of just tailed off. He's just never.
He was never as bad. They have never been as good since they fired him.
Yeah. No.
He was a disaster in Michigan.
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't think that's entirely his fault. I would have loved to see him with in the heat of Denard Robinson.
The other thing he
I think
did
that
was
would have been fantastic.
It was fun. Don't get me wrong. You had some fun offenses,
the
but he
defense
just
was
never had a
atrocious.
defense. And so what either happened if the offense was clicking, you're scoring super fast. If it's not clicking, you're 3 and out, and then your defense is on the field the whole time. It was bad. I mean, the offense was usually pretty good though, but then you had Denard, he couldn't throw the ball past 8 yards. So when people figured that out, then they were all up at the line. But I think in this day and age where they're teaching like the dual threat a lot more as a real, tangible thing to do, it could still really work if you find the right guy. You know?
I think so.
Yeah. But defense. He needs defense. That's the only thing with Rich Rod.
We all need a little defense.
I've been liking a bunch of the hires going on.
So,
are you excited?
question.
Are you happy for Scott Frost finding his way back home?
I'm rooting
His
for
real
him.
home, Central Florida.
He definitely does feel like a Central Florida kind of guy.
All right.
I'm rooting for him.
I got a question. We were kind of asking, playing poker the other day with some of these degens. What is a team in the top 12 that is not top 2 team that you say like they can make a run? I'll give you mine.
Oh, so for the playoff, a team that's not like Oregon.
Yeah, not Oregon, not Georgia.
I mean, you could say Ohio
I'll
State.
throw Ohio State in there.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you my sleeper, which I'm shocked I'm giving you.
Would you throw Notre Dame as like a sleeper?
Yeah.
Like, as like one of those, that tier.
Sure.
Okay, so I would have, I could see the winner of Notre Dame, Indiana going on a little bit of a run.
Okay.
I could see and the winner of SMU, Penn State going on a little bit of a run. I don't know who necessarily wins those games, but I could see the winner of those games going on a bit of a
I'll
run.
give you mine. Clemson.
Really?
The whole
Wow.
thing is them having to get through Texas, and they can because
Yes.
like the only way Clemson offensively is probably the worst team in the bunch.
First play of the
maybe
game.
Tennessee right now if Tennessee's super banged up, but Clemson offensively is like the worst team in the bunch. If they don't turn over Quinn Ewers at least 2 times, they're not winning that game in my opinion.
I'm not a Quinn Ewers guy. I think he's a bum.
They could turn him over 2 times.
Losers. I love Clemson in that spot. I love him on house money. I think Kublik or whatever his name is has been playing better. And somehow they're going to find ways to win these games in crazy ways. I just have a weird feeling. I'm not saying they're going to win it all, but I do think they're going to win 2 games somehow.
So you think they beat Texas and then Arizona State?
Yeah. I don't like Texas at all. What I saw from them was absolute garbage last week.
Their defense is good, dude. Their defense is good.
That's fine, but Quinn Ewers is a loser. He is
I think
loser.
If they weren't in the playoffs, he'd be in the portal right now.
I mean, the way they played against Georgia was so bad.
Because I think the fans are ready for Arch.
Oh, definitely. They definitely are. Also, we've seen both these teams play Georgia, and they both looked really bad against Georgia. So I don't know.
Yeah, but Clemson's gotten better as the season has gone on. It's one thing to lose the first.
They have, yeah, but
the problem with Texas is they have more talent than none of these teams, but they have crappy coaching, and they have a crappy quarterback, and they're losers, and they will lose to Clemson.
I honestly hope so.
I'm kind of pissed that the NFL is going against college football too.
I'm mad at the NFL for that.
I've never seen that before.
Well, don't they always start on? Didn't they usually start on Saturdays once college football regular season?
Yeah, but that's because college football wasn't on Saturday.
Right. Yeah.
This is like in competition. This is bizarre.
No,
it's only these games, which is like whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm still very upset.
But you got 2 big NFL games this Saturday going
it's a great weekend for NFL.
Now, luckily, I have YouTube TV, which is a godsend, so I can watch it all. But
Can you do the split between college and the
it's
NFL?
up to YouTube TV, but I will have an iPad and a TV going at the same time. So I will have them all going on. But I would imagine they can do that.
Well, you know what I'm going to prioritize.
NFL.
No, no, no,
What is
Maddie.
there a
Listen,
new arena
Clemson
league
will
opening up
win.
this weekend?
The UFL schedule, I will be having my eyes on the NFL because I think either this weekend or next weekend the UFL schedule is getting dropped on
What do you
Fox.
think of their
So
commercials?
Okay.
They have some pretty.
I think they're good. I think they're pretty good. I like them.
Clemson will win this Saturday.
Wow.
My fucking word.
If I'm hitching my wagon to one
Is that
team,
your
Maddie,
big titty lock of the week?
That is my big titty upset of the week. If I
I'm
don't, I will put Hellman's mustard on my dick on the podcast next week.
if I'm hitching my wagon to one team,
Yeah.
uh,
Luke.
I'm gonna go Indiana. I'm gonna go Indiana.
What's
Okay.
that, Matt?
Give me
Go
your
Indiana.
sleeper.
My sleeper, boy, that's rough. I'm in with. I will say winner of Indiana Notre Dame. I would
Okay.
even say you know what?
Like
Let's
they play
see if
Georgia, and we know Georgia is like vulnerable.
They are
Yeah.
vulnerable, but I wouldn't consider them considering that they did
No,
win.
I'm saying as the fact like the winner of Indiana Notre Dame has a shot against
Oh,
Georgia.
I feel
absolutely.
like Indiana just shit the bed so hard against Ohio State, even though
That's-
they were outmatched. I feel
Yeah.
like they got that out of their system.
Their defense is good.
Yeah.
My only word for Indiana, and you'll see it versus Notre Dame too, is the offensive line. Have they gotten better since
Yeah.
like the latter half of Michigan and the Ohio State game? That's the only part because Curtis Rourke was dying out there. Their
We
run
also
game
have
was
to
good that game.
Say this: Riley Leonard was great last year at Duke. Got hurt. Was horrible the beginning of the season. He's gotten so much better. Like the last 5 weeks, he's been incredible.
And also, everyone's talking all about this Notre Dame defense.
Yeah.
Well, an all right USC offense torched the fuck out of them. Aside from those two picks,
And they really haven't played it.
Yeah, that's the whole problem with their schedule. You can't play the armed forces. It's
Are we-
just.
Are we sleeping on Arizona State?
Well, they have a bye. So
I don't consider them a real
yeah.
sleeper. I mean, yes, because they weren't talked about at the beginning of the year, but they're number 4, and they took their conference pretty easily. Like
they killed Iowa State.
Yeah.
Iowa State was a favorite. Arizona State was expected to be last in that conference this year.
Jim, I didn't get to watch a lot of ASU this year. What is it about them that is going to help them win if they're going to win?
Cam motherfucking
Scattaboo, yeah.
The running back is so good.
He's like a bowling
So
ball.
good.
Yeah.
They have
like
a
a
dog
bowling
for a quarterback too. Sam Levitt is a fucking dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scattaboo runs it like a bowling ball. Like
Yes,
low,
exactly.
his legs are massively big.
It's like a Mike Allstott kind of run.
Yeah, you hit him, he'll bounce off him, and then he just runs fast. But he is like, I
love watching him. I love watching him so much.
Yeah, it's fun. I did watch the championship game, but do you think they have the horses to do some damage in the playoffs here?
I think so. This seems like obviously just looking on paper, whoever knows, there's always blowouts in the playoffs, so I can predict whatever. But this year, more than many other previous years, feels the most wide open.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think Oregon is probably the best team, but I don't know if it's it's not like 2 years ago with that Georgia team or last year's Michigan team.
No.
Like I don't think it's leaps and bounds better. I think everyone's super close.
Everyone's got a shot, kind of. I do think Clemson will be my sleeper team.
I'm gonna go with Indiana. I think everyone has a shot. I'm just going to fade Notre Dame because I'm going to fade Marcus Freeman in like pressure situations. And I'm going to take SMU because I'm going to fade James Franklin in pressure situations.
Yeah.
Never won a big game in his life.
Like,
no, he's like,
how does the defense lay an egg so bad against Oregon? I mean, I know Oregon's got a great offense, but got to have more pride than that. I mean, they couldn't stop anybody.
It was rough. The only one that I'm not like super excited, hype about, and maybe that I'm sleeping on them too. I have a future on them. It's Tennessee.
I don't like it at all.
kind of limping in. They still have a
Yeah.
bunch of injuries, and they have only looked worse like as the season's gone on.
They're so lucky
They
about their
they have
schedule,
a
too.
very good defensive line though. Like that's like them, Ohio State, Texas, obviously Georgia probably have the best like defensive fronts in this entire deal. Don't
Well, it's
sleep
gonna
on
be
Clemson, but
so
still,
much fun.
I'm so hyped for it.
So hype, right?
I feel like Texas is going to thrash Clemson.
I think it's either Clemson in a close win or Texas dominates. Like the only way Clemson wins this one
Yeah.
is if Ewers like turns the ball over more than at least once. He has he has like the capability of doing it. We've seen him do it. But I trust Sark. I'm with you, Luke. I think Texas probably rolls, but I don't know. I can't. Dabo is like the opposite of James. I trust Dabo in pressure situations.
Exactly.
But also, every good team, aside from the championship game in the ACC that Clemson played this year, they lost.
Yeah.
Like they lost to Georgia.
Right.
They lost to like not even really good teams sometimes. They lost like Georgia Tech. Like
Yeah. No, it's
going to be an exciting weekend. Let me tell you. Saturday,
Yeah.
cannot wait. Friday night, we get a game. I mean, this is a good time. I mean, the holidays can be depressing and lonely, but there's so much good football on, a lot of food. It will get me through the times. And I'm calling it Clemson will beat Texas.
Wow.
My steak and shake upset of the week.
I'm gonna say Indiana over Notre Dame. Friday night.
God,
Did you guys see that? Did you guys see
fun.
that tickets for the Penn State one are like 70, 80 bucks?
That's pretty cheap, right?
That's
Right?
called like the one no one has any faith in, you know.
I mean,
I think
like, yeah, we're here. Are we really pumped? Nah.
I think it's also like, yeah, the games are on college campuses, but school's out for winter break, so maybe you get like a college town like Penn State where they're at. You get less, like you don't have as much student body potentially there.
Yeah,
potentially.
Giant stadium,
too.
80,000 people.
It's gonna be sick. I'm excited for playoff games at the home field. I don't like that it seems like they're trying to make them more neutral. I don't like that. Keep just the regular home environment.
What do you mean they're trying to make it more neutral?
Dude,
like
it's almost Friday.
Like for the Tennessee, the Ohio State game, Tennessee's getting a whole walkout video too.
No.
Yeah, it's stuff like that.
No, like you fought to get this home field advantage. You deserve it. If you're going to do a neutral game, then just do a neutral game somewhere else. You know, like don't do a freaking neutral game.
I like the first round home field advantage.
Yeah,
I love it. Any other bowl games that you guys are interested
in? Not really, because I don't. The problem with these gyms is that we don't know who's playing. So what does it matter?
Well, okay, so it's you're talking most like a lot of backups, and because portal people and opt outs for the draft, and it's affecting the playoffs too. Penn State's backup quarterback had to enter the portal because he had no choice. Like either he leaves now or that. That's what's funny too is I don't know how late does this window stay open? Because if I don't see Quinn Ewers being the quarterback next year.
They open up another window in the spring, like the spring summer portal. They open up another one.
Let me tell you the problem with these bowl games though is like last year I put a nice little wager on Ohio State, Missouri over 2 explosive offenses last year. I got Ohio State putting out a fucking scrub at quarterback and sitting half their players without knowing it. And it's like, it's a fuck you to the fans. It's a fuck you to the alumni. It's a fuck you to people paying money. It's a fuck you to the gamblers that are paying money because obviously we keep it going. And I'm not going to get into any of these bowl games because you don't know who's playing and it's garbage.
Maddie, that's why I love betting on bowl. It's like when you're betting bowl games, it's like an entirely different sport.
Last year,
it's an entirely different sport.
Over under was like 55, and I think it got to like 16 because I had to watch some shitty Ohio State quarterback who couldn't fucking throw a ball that they're like, oh, this guy might win the job. Sucked. And I'm like, you give me this? Like, Like, fuck you, Brian Day, you fucking John Travolta
The transfer portal,
with,
baby.
with Bukkake on his face, look-alike.
That's the transfer portal. That's the sport. I really don't know how to change the
I
transfer portal.
understand that, but these like I can't get into bowl games. Like, look, I'd like to get into Ole Miss bowl game. I'd like to get into Michigan, Alabama. That's obviously an awesome matchup. But what if we get like ridiculous backups playing against each other?
There's no what if there, Maddie. There's no what if we're getting a shitload of backups. Yeah, bowl games don't matter.
I agree. So I'm not going to talk about them.
Oh, they're fun though. They're so fun, and it's football.
Not when you got money on them and they don't play the guys they should be playing.
It's football.
I mean, it is weird now with the playoffs because like with the extent with the widening of the playoffs because that makes
it's gonna get bigger too.
Feel less, I guess, even less than what they normally have been the past few years. But yeah, maybe it is just.
I think the big change was the 4-team playoff. Once they introduced like the actual play, like the 4-teamer, bowls just like went to the wayside, and it's just been downhill from there. I think it's the dumb like bowls that embrace the dumb fun and like the not mattering aspect of it are the ones that succeed.
Okay,
I think
that's what you have to do. You have
to lead into a bit.
You have to reimagine these bowl games, and it's
I understand
because
that. Yeah,
I don't want gimmicks. Like, I get it. It's fun to watch a coach put mayonnaise on his head, but I'd rather watch the best players on both teams play.
How do you go about getting the best players to play in the bowl game, Matty?
You don't. You just nothing you can do about it. I just don't want to cover it. I don't think people should cover it. I don't think people should watch the games.
Wow, Matty, anti-football. Matty, anti-football Goldberg.
Yeah, I am.
I respect your opinion.
Sports.
I'm sorry. I can't.
Would you encourage people to watch the FCS playoffs then?
100,000,000%.
Montana State all day, baby. This is their year.
For the day that even in the top 12, the guys will start to opt out, and that will be a bad day for college football.
I don't think it'll be. I mean,
I pray it doesn't happen.
We see the backups obviously, because they have to.
Yeah.
I would think it would be more transfer portal related, just because the timing kind of has to happen, where you can't transfer after the year.
Sure.
Like, what's the championship games happen?
The University of Michigan tight end James Butt destroy college football.
Jake Butt.
Yeah. Yes, because he was the one guy that was probably blew out his knee.
Yeah.
Bad tackle and didn't get the money that he got. And it put a lot into guys' heads like, hey, like,
Well, I think now with NIL, at least it's not like a all or nothing kind of thing. It's not.
Well, we'll see this year because I don't want to.
Jake Butt is also like, it's a rare that people, people don't come back from injuries like that. I think he ripped up his other knee, the year he finally did, debut in the pro. Like, he just had a lot of bum luck, unfortunately.
But guys don't want to be that guy.
No,
God forbid.
I get it, but I think with NIL things, it keeps things more interesting because people, and again,
they'll be writing it into contracts.
There will be a point where all this is contracted, and if you're on the roster, you're going to be playing. Unless there's a clause in your contract that says.
Yeah, because if you're worried about injuries, just do why even play at all during the season? Just opt out of the season. Yeah,
I agree, Jimbo. Now you're talking my language.
Isn't that what Kayvon Thibodeau did? Didn't he?
They did that. Those guys did that in 2020 for the COVID year. Yeah, because Jamar Chase did it too.
Well, I get that too. I mean, it's a crappy football season. It was a kind of a mess. It was like Michigan, Ohio State.
You guys see where that legislature from Ohio State?
Yeah, the representative.
To ban flag planting at Ohio schools.
See, this is a pussy move.
Soft.
Oh my God!
This is a stuttering John Dabble
if somebody did that for Michigan after we've been getting our asses kicked, I'd be like, shut the fuck up right now.
I would find a way to impeach that person.
First of all, Texas put the put the flag on the Michigan field.
Yeah.
You didn't hear him
And you know
cry.
what? We just went to the
Yeah.
locker room.
This is
We
garbage.
got our
This is
asses beat. You
embarrassing.
take it. Sorry.
Ohio
Oh,
State needs to be embarrassed. It's
they
like
should be.
I'm calling the cops. You guys beat us. I'm calling the police. I'm calling mommy. Mommy, Michigan was mean to me. They beat us when they were 20-point underdogs, and then they put their flag on our field. So let's get them arrested. The fuck?
All the flag planting discourse is just like cemented in my mind how influential Baker Mayfield was.
Ohio State.
Yeah, it's a trendsetter.
What a gutless bunch of turds to do this.
Well, and now the AD is like, yeah, we're sticking with Ryan Day. We're just de-emphasizing the game now. You know, that's not important anymore. Just a playoff,
Well,
a
when they
national
lose in the
championship.
first
I think
round.
Michigan did the opposite, where they like super emphasized it even
this is
more.
the only game we
Of
care about.
course.
Yeah, like they made it so that was the sole focus.
Ask
And
Army Navy what Army Navy means.
And I think like they should still focus on the game. I just think Ryan Day has been destroyed mentally by just the comments that were made, and they always feel like they have to out tough Michigan when you have studs all over.
Well, that's not him.
No, it's terrible. Yeah, they've had consistently. I don't even know the last time Michigan beat them in a recruiting year. You know, like Ohio State has always recruited much better than Michigan, and it's so stupid that then he does his tough guy talk, and it's just fucking lame. I don't know. It's kind of becoming funny.
When he tries to act tough, it looks so bad.
It looks so bad.
It does suck that this game doesn't mean like your season's ruined anymore, but oh well. It's still a victory.
Well, I expect them and Ohio State, Texas, and Penn State to be disappointments.
In the playoffs?
Yes. I'm not saying they're not going to win their first game, but I don't see them winning 2 games either.
The only issue with fucking Ohio State is if they're playing their absolute, like if they're playing their, like Ohio State.
Yeah.
The issue with Ohio State is if they're playing their best, they're so fucking good.
The roster on papers is better than anyone's. You know,
they almost beat Oregon.
Yeah.
Like they almost beat Oregon. That was a super close game.
Yeah.
And they lost to Michigan.
Yeah. I don't know, but
they
it
haven't
shows
impressed me at all, to be honest.
Get in their head. If you can slow them down a little bit, it gets in their head. You know,
they got the wrong quarterback. What if they got Dylan Gabriel? Where would they be? What if they kept the guy, Kyle McCord? And they got rid of Kyle McCord really fast. Like he was gone right after the Michigan game last year.
If they kept Kyle McCord, I think they'd be in a very similar spot. Because that's not against Kyle McCord. I think that he kind of needed a change of space too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I felt so bad for that kid after that game. Like, he was just eating it.
Well, guess what? It's not his fault.
No.
And Dylan Gabriel, I think also, I don't know if he would have worked at Ohio State because he was good, but like at Oklahoma.
Good,
no, he looks like Oregon. But like you remember watching him last year?
Yeah, but Oklahoma was a disaster.
Yeah, it was like all right. Also, he's been in college forever, right?
Jim.
You guys remember Dylan Gabriel at UCF?
Yeah, he was amazing.
It feels like
a lifetime ago.
Yeah, Jesus.
I don't think he's big enough to play.
That was Josh Heupel, UCF.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I don't think he's big enough to play in the NFL.
No, he'll be a great UFL quarterback.
Wow.
Jim, what makes a great UFL quarterback?
Swagger.
Moxie.
The swagger?
Yeah, just moxie and swagger. You got to be able to just like sling it.
They don't wear panties like they do in the NFL.
Damn right.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
As Vince McMahon once said, our quarterbacks don't wear panties.
We'll get to the NFL in a second. You guys tuning into the NBA Cup tonight?
No.
I didn't even know that was a thing happening right now. I'm going to be perfectly honest.
They got a great commercial, though, Michael Imperioli. Like, he's like, what if we get, like, the best teams? It's like, yeah, nobody cares. I know you're trying to make it look like it's gangster and tough, but nobody cares.
It was really funny when the Lakers won it last year and didn't even, like, make the playoffs. It's Well, the Bucks are trending up. They've been winning a lot of games lately, and the Thunder are a fun young team to watch. And it's going
I'm
on
gonna
right
miss it.
now.
I'm watching the bowl game. Memphis just scored. They're up 7-zip. In case you want spoilers.
Spoilers for the game that was on yesterday, I think.
No, it's on right now.
No, I'm
Memphis.
saying the people
The,
listening.
yeah.
Don't worry. Don't worry about me.
Touchdown, Memphis. And they're doing a dance in the end zone.
Oh, no. All right. NFL.
Yes.
Had a good weekend. All right,
Yeah, great
weekend.
weekend. I went
Uh,
6-0 on my picks.
6-0.
Yeah, my
Attaboy,
brother-in-law.
Matty.
I split it with my brother-in-law, but we're in a thing. So you go 6-0, you split the pot with everybody.
Mhm.
There's 743 people in this. 48 people went 6-0 this week. And my brother-in-law was mad at me because we only got $177. But yeah, I gotta talk about quarterback play in the NFL. And like I was arguing with a friend last night. I don't like this idea that like, because I was saying how bad Kirk Cousins is and how stupid they were for paying him. We're paying quarterbacks max contract. And Tua is an example of this too. For like, if you can play good against bad teams, you're worthy of a max contract. That's how shitty the quarterback system is in the NFL, that you can get a max contract if you can dominate bad teams, and that's so shitty. I mean, it's such a joke.
I feel like we've had this conversation before, Matty.
Yes, we have.
Over and over.
Yeah, that's just nuts, though.
The market for quarterbacks in the NFL is absolutely insane.
It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I mean, Kirk Cousins yesterday, and one of my last picks was the Falcons, and they should have killed the Raiders because the Raiders are trying to lose. The Raiders have no players. They're playing Desmond Ridder, who is very bad.
Revenge game coming up.
And obviously the Raiders want a tank to get Shedeur Sanders. And then we sit there and you're like, this guy, Kirk Cousins, he can't even play. It was almost like he couldn't throw the ball from second base to first base. He was so mentally gone. And you're like, how does this guy have a max contract? What has he ever done? He's got one playoff win in 12 years, and he gets a max contract. It's insane.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Tua don't deserve a max contract.
I don't know what they're going to do with him either, too. Because
they benched him. So
I know, but you can't have a max guy riding your pine. Sorry.
Well, they have to because he's so bad. He's putting.
Imagine if they didn't have him and they spent all that money on a good team.
There you go.
Yeah, you're talking about a good organization at that point, though.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like Mike McDaniel's going to get fired. Well, two reasons. One, he's too nice, and he's trying to be friends with all his players, which is stupid. And second, he put all his eggs in the basket of Tua. And if you put your eggs in the basket of a shitty quarterback and that's the guy you're going to live or die, you don't deserve a head coaching job. I'm sorry.
Well, he's not the GM, though. He doesn't,
Yeah, but he was so high on Tua this, Tua that.
Well, you have to be if that's who you're with.
But you don't take the job.
Why? So, Matt, you just don't take the job? You just pussy out?
Yes.
But
why would you?
Because these guys have like the ultimate egos. They think they can win everywhere. They're coach.
And you have to start. You have to be a head coach somewhere. And usually it's not going to be the most desirable. That actually looked like a good situation.
I know a lot of coaches. Like you take a guy like the two, in my opinion, the two guys that are the smartest minds of football right now are OCs. You got Ben Johnson in Detroit and Joe Brady, who's an absolute fucking genius, the Bills' offensive coordinator. They turn down head coaching jobs because they know it's not the right situation. And you don't want to be in a situation where you're going to fail with a shitty quarterback or not a good quarterback situation. Like you're better off staying in Detroit or Buffalo until the right situation comes along. I get Mike McDaniel saw an opportunity, but he was so high on Tua. He was so eager to prove that Tua was elite, and he's going to cost him a job, and he may never get a job ever again.
Let's say you're the hottest OC right now, and every head coaching job is open.
Yes.
Like what's the limit of give me all the quarterbacks you'd work with, and then where does it cut off?
Okay, let's say I'm Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
And Miami calls me.
Yes.
And they're like, hey, we want to offer you the job, but we're sticking with Tua. And I would go, listen, I don't believe in Tua. You're setting me up to fail. Pass. Done right there.
So you're like, I don't know. That's a lot of coaches are not going to get that, especially first year head coaches are going to.
I feel like there's not that many elite quarterbacks.
But they don't. Guys decide not to take the job.
But Maddie, what quarterback are you going to take the job with?
If you have so the Raiders and the Giants are going to be up for a quarterback in the draft.
Okay.
Now, if you get offered their job, to me is better than Miami, because I'm like, I'd rather start with a guy in college that I believe in, like Shador or Cam Ward, than with a guy like Tua, who I don't believe in. So I'm more to take the job with the Giants or the Raiders.
So then, how can you say that about Mike McDaniel when he took the job, we still didn't really know anything about Tua because he had barely played?
I knew he sucked from day one.
Maddie, that's just your opinion.
And I'm right.
It's just like your opinion.
He stinks. Do you think he's good?
I think he has the potential to be good.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
What more do you need to see out of him? Not to mention he's a concussion away from dying. He stinks. He can't.
I need to see a couple more concussions. That's what I need to see.
Exactly. You really think what is the ceiling with Tua?
I'm just saying, no, the ceiling is getting to the playoffs. That's the ceiling.
Wow. Which they did last year, and he absolutely laid an egg and stunk.
Do you think
I'm just saying, how many?
Be back?
I think so. I don't think he's going to get fired this year.
Really?
Who, McDaniel?
Yeah, I don't think he gets fired.
And good luck losing next year.
That's fine. The Dolphins always lose. The Dolphins. This is the Dolphins.
Well, that's what the biggest mistake was, giving Tua a max contract and then having a stupid
again. Though you say that every quarterback gets a max contract, though,
and that's the problem with football.
That's not just the problem with the Dolphins. That's the problem with the NFL. Is every quarterback gets a max contract?
Yes, and I just said the biggest problem in the NFL is we're giving max contracts to quarterbacks who dominate bad teams. Now, could Tua dominate a bad Patriot team? Sure.
Like Brock Purdy's going to get a max contract.
Who?
Brock Purdy.
He might.
He will.
Is he up this year?
I think. Is it this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's having a bad year to get it, but I don't know. I mean, why can't he have a mediocre contract?
There's no such thing anymore, Maddie.
I think Kirk Cousins, like his original big fucking contract, ruined it for everybody. The one he got with the Vikings that just reset the market.
Finish the season. He couldn't even finish the season.
I mean, yeah, no, I'm with you, Maddie, but I'm also like, it has these coaches. Coaches only have so much power, over their.
I'm just saying, a lot of guys don't take certain jobs because they don't have they don't agree with the GM. They don't like the quarterback. They don't think they can win with the quarterback. If Mike McDaniel thinks he can win with Tua, he's an idiot.
I just think those guys are pussies.
Who?
The guys who won't take the job.
You're a fool too.
Pussy.
You're a fool too.
Pussy.
And you're gonna go on and be like, Tua's great.
That's not a winning mentality if you need everything to be perfect to be able to win.
A quarterback.
Changing the name of the show to Luke, the Fool, and the Pussy.
If you don't believe that your quarterback has the it factor, why take that?
How many? I mean, I agree. That's fair. But how many quarterbacks have the it?
Please tell me right now, which quarterbacks would you work with? Who are the only quarterbacks you deem worthy of a max contract?
Well, Baker Mayfield is great. He's been great. The guy, the Chargers guy, Herbert. Yeah. Brock Purdy's pretty good. Jordan Love, I love. Jared Goff, I love. Hey, Sam Darnold is proving a lot. Caleb Williams, the jury's out, but he's still a young player. I mean, I can go through every team. I don't know if I want to bore you. Josh Allen is pretty fucking good.
No, I mean those are obvious ones, but
give me a guy that's in the middle.
It's not a young guy. What would you do for Anthony Richardson?
Can't win with.
Okay. Oh, he is bad.
Bo Nix,
Fair.
I like.
Bo Nix, you can win with him.
Yeah.
Kyler.
I would give a shot with Shadur, and I'd give a shot with Cam Ward.
Oh, I said Kyler.
Yes, I like him a lot.
Okay.
I think you can win with him. May you can win with. The Browns need a quarterback desperately.
I heard rumblings that they're like Deshaun is still in the mix somehow.
And that's the other thing. Then you get stuck with these guys and you want to prove that your investment is worthy. And it's like you keep making these fans buy expensive tickets to see shitty quarterback play.
How many more years do
they don't want to see Deshaun. They don't want to see Winston anymore. They don't even want to see Beckham. They want a quarterback. They want Baker Mayfield back.
Why don't they trade for Cooper Rush?
Oh, yeah.
Well, he at least, Dak, I don't even know if I can win with Dak. Dak, I don't believe it.
Okay.
I'm with you. I don't believe in Dak.
I like Jared Goff. I like Sam Darnold. I love Josh Allen. I love Mahomes. The Raiders obviously need a quarterback. But Tua, if I was a coach, and I'm telling you, if I was a hot guy, even if I wasn't a hot guy, I would not take the job.
Trevor Lawrence.
I still believe in him. But they need a major, a franchise, adjustment. But I believe in him still, kind of.
Bryce Young?
Yeah, I believe in him more than because he's still potential. He still has potential.
So everybody but Tua eventually.
Tua stinks and Kirk Cousins stinks. Those two guys are garbage.
I think Trevor Lawrence is overrated. He's not good. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is good.
But Tua is garbage.
Man, Atlanta's gonna fucking suck a dick.
Who has more talent around him, Miami or Jacksonville? Miami by far.
I agree.
Miami has put elite players around Tua, and he's done nothing.
That's fair.
All right.
You're fair.
Josh Allen's my MVP.
Lamar's right there, though. He's there.
The Eagles are coming. The Eagles look really scary. It's very sad what's happening to Detroit because
tell me about it.
They're just when you hit an injury bug, you just what can you do about it? There's nothing.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Luke.
There's 30 players on the aisle.
It's so unfair because about 7 or 8 weeks ago, I think they went 2 games with one touchdown giving up.
Yeah.
And now it's just the
thing is they will still have a puncher's chance.
Yeah, with that offense, they could still be in.
That's what I'm saying. You got a puncher's chance, but usually those games come down to a stop, and sometimes that offense will go stagnant for a bit too. So, but
they're signing guys. They're signing guys literally off the street to start.
Oh my god!
And when I was seeing with the Bills, what they were doing, what I noticed is they were putting this little fast backup running back on linebackers because the Lions have no linebackers. And that was the main thing that they were doing on these wheel plays. And
it's too bad San Francisco didn't cut that guy that refused to play. Detroit could have got him.
Yeah.
Any players floating in space, Detroit is going to call you. Right?
Oh, yeah. I might suit up for him.
Yeah. Goldberg.
But it's sad because it's you don't know how big your window is. And this year was obviously, it looked like they were kind of wow, the Lions might make the Super Bowl. And now it's they're tied with the Vikings. Their defense is done. And who knows who's coming back before the playoffs start. But it's going to be hard to get it back.
No,
I believe in them, but the run in the NFC is going to be crazy.
That's the problem.
You got 3
I feel like if they could make it to the Super Bowl, they could win.
The Vikings, you got the Eagles, and you got the Lions.
Yeah. And depending on how the next few games go, too, they could drop. They could lose a few games and miss a bye and everything.
And there's the NFC to me also has scary teams with potential. Obviously they're not in this. The Bucks are up there. I think the Rams
and even the Packers.
Now Rams
are scary. They're scary.
Yeah. Yeah. And the Packers.
Yeah, the Packers too.
Is Mahomes out this week?
They will not let Mahomes be out for Christmas. The NFL cannot allow it. They need the
No.
ratings.
Yeah, but he played
T-Swift's going to
Saturday
be at
at
that
Houston
game.
It's crazy. Is it
on Friday.
crazy to anyone else that they're doing like 3 games in 10 days for these guys?
Also, it's funny that
Monday, baby.
NFL moved on Christmas. That was always the NBA.
Yeah.
NFL doesn't give a fuck anymore, dude.
No,
They
don't
they'll
They're
come
just-
and do whatever they want.
They'll do anything. Like if they could on Major League Baseball opening day, they'll do their fucking draft just to stick it to be like, hey, our draft got bigger ratings than opening day in baseball.
Oh,
And they
man.
know it and they love it.
It's pretty brutal. All right, coming up in the NFL this week, we got some good games.
Yeah.
Let's see, starting off here. Yeah, Broncos Chargers
That's
Thursday.
gonna be a good one.
Looking for that. We got Texans Chiefs, Steelers Ravens.
The Texans are favored on the road. So I'm thinking they think that Mahomes isn't gonna play.
Are we gonna get a little Carson Wentz action?
Ooh,
I love it.
man, didn't even know he was still in the league.
Oh, he's their backup.
God. What if he came out looking like MVP Wentz and he beat out Mahomes for the job?
That'd be insane. Because I don't think even MVP Wentz is as good as Patrick Mahomes.
By the way, you want to know what the Bills' last 3 games are? The last 3 games that the Bills have are home versus the Patriots, at the Jets,
Oh, God.
or away versus the Patriots.
Just trying to nail that
They're
one seed.
They're coasting basically.
Yeah.
Well, they still need the Chiefs to lose 2 games. The Chiefs have a really tough schedule. They have 3 tough games. They have home versus Houston. At who they have? I know the last game of the year is at Denver, which is going to be a tough game, which they should have lost to them. So they're home versus Houston. Then week 17
At Steelers.
Yeah, on Christmas. So they could easily lose 2 games here, especially if Mahomes is hurt. And then the Bills will get the first seed. I mean, the Bills have to win out, but they're going to be 10-point favorites the last 3 games, no matter what. So it should be interesting.
I still think it's crazy that we talk about like player safety, like we're talking about player safety in the NFL for like concussions and stuff. But
The NFL don't give a fuck.
Three games in 10 days is
When it comes
wild. Wild.
I agree, but when it comes to money, they don't give a fuck. And oh wow, Rich Rodriguez is on TV.
As he should be.
doing?
He's probably at the bowl game.
Yeah, he is. He's in the booth.
Oh yeah. Is it official with them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, what's his face got a job? Michael Vick is going to be the coach in Norfolk State.
Sacramento State.
Oh,
Sacramento State.
My bad. Good for him. We'll see how he does.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I never saw him as the coaching type, but who knows?
A lot of what happened to him really humbled his life up, and he came out a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, I it's really hard to think about what he did and sort of wash it from your brain, but I mean, I got to applaud the guy for turning his life
But
around.
also, you do your time.
Yeah, I mean, it is
came out
time.
very remorseful.
Yeah.
He understood what he did was wrong. So, like, you do your time, you do the crime, you do your time.
Yeah. Going to Sacramento State, baby. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Vikings Seahawks going to be a good one, too.
Yep. That's
what's up with Geno, though?
Well, if he doesn't play, the Vikings have an edge. But if he does play, that is a trap game, and I think the Vikings lose there.
In a press conference today, Mike McDonald says Geno Smith's knee looks like it's structurally okay.
Ooh, he's a lucky.
I don't know if I like the sound of that. That like when your
I
coach is
love that
saying it looks
language.
structurally,
It's structurally okay. He should be out there.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys will do anything to get these guys to play. They'll shoot them up, do anything. But the players want to do that too. So,
who's the backup in Seattle?
Sam Howell, former.
Yeah.
Didn't he lead the league in passing yards last year?
He did.
Yeah, he's back, baby. All right.
And Zach fucking Charbonnet. God, I love Zach Charbonnet so much.
He's great. Michigan legend, Zach Charbonnet.
Yeah, LA legend too.
Yeah.
He was at Michigan for 1 year. He had a nice freshman year, and then just went to UCLA. But he's
And
from there. He's like right from Brentwood, so
yeah.
I mean, I could see him getting homesick. And Michigan's running back room was stacked those years too. So whatever. And yeah, Belichick to UNC became official right
Mhm.
after our show last
That's
week.
right.
So
That's gonna be fun.
I'm
yeah,
interested. I'm very interested to see how that works out. Uh,
absolutely. Yeah, I think it's
Maddie's.
cool, a cool
I,
thing to do,
I saw it with one of my buddies, Maddie's favorite guy, Uncle Rico. I was talking
Yeah,
about it with him. He thinks he'll do really well. He
I think
thinks
you will too.
someone like Belichick will be great at grabbing like those uh 3-year transfers, like the guys who are in like their third year or whatever, getting like
Yeah,
shitloads of transfers, being like, "Hey, you want to know what it takes to get put in the NFL?
right.
Guess who can put someone in
Come
the
to
NFL?"
daddy.
I was listening to Ty Law talk about
Michigan legend Ty Law, yeah.
yeah the coaches like Parcells, Belichick, Pete Carroll, the difference between all of them in an interview. Very interesting stuff. So he didn't have much good things to say about Pete Carroll. He's
Really?
he's like Pete Carroll is just like kind of a rah guy. Like,
Uh-huh.
all
It
right,
worked. It
Yeah.
worked at both
it
levels though.
works. Yeah, you're right.
Like he's one of the few coaches I could think of that had like the
No,
like
he
college
had
to
a great
NFL
college
boot like
NFL.
bump.
But he wasn't very good with the Patriots. He said Parcells was a manipulator, like a motivator, a manipulator. He said when he was in rookie camp and he was like, I think drafted like 12th or 15 overall. Parcells told him like, you're about to be the first guy to ever get cut as a rookie first rounder and in camp. I mean, he went
Wow.
on to have a Hall of Fame career, but I think that's
Yeah.
funny. But he said he would get you so fucking mad, you would want to run to a brick wall. And then he said something really interesting about Belichick. Why, if you're a football player, you might want to go to him. He goes, the beauty about Belichick is he goes, he knew more about football than anybody else. And he would tell you stuff, and then he would say, like, if this play happens and this guy does this, like if this is the formation, then the tight end is gonna do this, and they're gonna do it every time. So you're gonna go here. And he said, and if they don't do it, it's on me. And he said he always appreciated that as a player because the coach Belichick always put it on him. They're like, hey, I know this, and if they do something different, it's my fuck up and not yours. And they like that, and it gave him a lot of confidence to play that way.
Yeah,
And
it's about as fair as you can be as a coach, too. Like
yeah,
I'm going to tell you what to do, and then you just got to do it.
exactly. And he
Um,
said, you know what? He goes, there was times like you'd see the formation, you're like, there's no way they're gonna do exactly what he said. He said almost every time they did what he said they were gonna do.
it's funny. Oh, shit. Yeah, and one thing too is like now these head coaches don't have to recruit anymore. They have whole
Yeah.
recruiting departments and
Oh,
stuff.
sure.
But like the coordinators will still be recruiting, I'm sure.
And
But
if you're a guy and you're a player and you want to get a little more like you want to pick a guy's brain, like you're a defensive player,
yeah,
safety, and you're like you want to learn from the best of like looking at film and seeing stuff and reading things,
mhm.
you might as well go to Belichick. So
Sure.
he's not, I don't know if they're gonna win national championships, but as far as like getting your best
They can
football,
make the playoffs. I can see it.
I don't know about winning a national championship.
No, I'm not saying win a natty. I think they could make a
Yeah,
playoff.
Well,
Like,
it's just
absolutely.
hard because he is old and it can take a couple years to build a team. But
don't
we'll
worry,
see.
his son's right there from when
Oh,
he's
okay.
done. His
Don't
son's
worry.
right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
His son leave Washington or his son staying
I'm pretty sure his son left Washington.
already.
Yeah, pretty sure.
That's weird.
So, getting back to the NBA real quick, they are announcing a new revamped All-Star tournament, which will essentially be, it's very bizarre. It's a format that's a four-team, three-game, one-night tournament featuring three teams of 8 All-Stars each, with the fourth team being the winner of the Rising Stars Challenge or first and second year players. The,
Okay.
the winning team in all games will be the first to score 40 points.
Okay.
I feel like they just are fucking with this thing every year.
Well, they're trying to get more interest.
No, I mean, I get it. And I think it's cool that you can, it's a sport where you can do goofy shit with um, and
It's
try new
become such
things.
a playoff sport that they're realizing like nobody cares about the NBA and the NHL until the playoffs.
Yeah.
So they're just trying to figure out how to get people to watch these games in the middle of the year,
Oh,
like
yeah.
get bigger ratings. But it's got to be hard just because it's become a playoff sport.
Well, NBA you know, is a far bigger sport globally than what the NFL
Yeah.
is. So, they're not always so concerned with people watching, the, these games here in the U.S. So I don't know. Um, but we'll see. I'm open to it. But again, I think the whole thing with All-Star games is just these players do not care. They're paid
No.
so much. There's no point in making much of an effort. I'd rather they just go to like the MTV Rock and Jock format, bring in, you know, bring in Chapel Ronan to play point guard, um, bring in, famous Daniel Day Lewis to
Bring retired NBA players. I want to see old
yeah,
people out there doing shit.
yes, yes.
Get Kareem Abdul-Jabbar out there.
That would well he almost died the other day. There's a new sport I found on Reddit. I don't know. I don't have any information. I'm just seeing two Asian guys in a video, and it's called the Ultimate Dick Kicking Championship. And it's just exactly as it sounds: young Asian guys kicking each other in the dicks.
Do they really need a whole arena for this? Like a whole like boxing ring?
Apparently, they do. I don't know. It would be funnier if it was just like in a closet-sized space.
Or if it was like on a stage? Actually,
Yeah,
I think this makes it feel like a legit fight. I'm okay.
right. If it was on a stage, it would be more like the theater. You'd have, people with their little opera glasses and stuff. Oh, look at that dick getting smashed. But this I think brings the
I'll
little
pass
more of
on
the
that one.
showmanship to it. Ouch. Fuck.
How much, Maddie? How much money to get you to do that one time? Like do one contest?
I don't know because getting your dick kicked hurts a lot, so it wouldn't be fun. I mean, I don't know. I don't really have a price.
Have you guys had any dick injuries?
Of course.
Yeah.
The
On.
only thing I really remember is I was trying to do, Maddie, you remember in the jump video, David Lee Roth jumps over
Of
someone?
course.
Like, I tried to do that with my buddy and I missed, and my junk went right into the back of his head.
Ooh.
And I had like a big lump on it. I mean, it was still like a young, I was only
Yeah, that's a
like nine
bad
or
injury.
10, but it was scary. I'm like, oh, wow.
I've never been there.
Dick injuries.
No dick
No,
injuries?
I've had something like rakes and stuff, shovels. Like you,
Rakes.
you walk like you have a rake down where you're raking leaves. You walk on it, slaps you in the dick.
Oh,
I've done the Simpsons thing
you've
with my
done that
dick.
thing that's only supposed to be in the movies.
Yes, I've done that. I have like fallen on benches.
Fallen on benches.
Yeah, like you're climbing over a bench and you trip, like a
Who
park
climbs over
bench.
benches?
It happens.
Okay.
We had someone at my work. We have big like spools
Mhm.
that are like wooden reels,
Yeah.
and they were on top of it, sort of doing like a log running thing. And they fell and they actually split their sack. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, what did you get? I mean, did he know? Like, was he just in super pain, or was it just like,
Yeah, he was in a lot of pain. A lot of pain.
oh,
And
did
then
did you take him to the hospital or did you call an ambulance? Like,
it was a crew, it was an outside crew, and they called an ambulance over. And
oh,
to add insult to injury, he got fired. So
Oh, sorry to hear that.
what a day. Honey, you'll never believe what happened at work today.
got fired with cause.
Yeah.
So no
And
like unemployment or
I
anything
can't
either.
bone you for like 3 months now either while my balls
Yeah.
heal. Maddie, so tell us about your dick injury.
I don't. I mean, maybe a soccer ball hit me there when I was a kid, but that's all I can think of. Sorry.
Okay. I mean, I'd think with you when you're carrying around that much weight, it'd be more vulnerable to injury
Hmm.
down there. So I'm shocked you've been able to keep it safe so much. All right. You guys anything to add before we get out of here this week?
If
Let's
I don't get a UFL schedule soon, I'm actually gonna burst.
let's go to the
I'm
UFL
putting that
chat.
out there for the masses.
All
I'm
right.
I need it. I need it bad.
Are you gonna be like that fucking CEO shooter and be outside the UFL headquarters with your little hoodie?
I'll be outside Dwayne the Rock Johnson's house.
If you can get back past all those bottles of tequila.
Oh god, it's yeah. I'll drink them all. I'll do
That
it. I don't care what
commercial
it
comes
takes.
on my TV all the time. And I'm so sick. I'm honestly so sick of the fucking Rock right now. I can't take it.
He's oversaturated. He's been oversaturated.
I guess just people just can't rest until they're billionaires these days. I mean, it's
It
just
feels
like,
that way.
yeah, like how much money, Jim, when I was growing up, actors never did this. They were never in commercials. They were you never saw them pushing products like this. And now that's all they do.
I think I'll have to look it up for next episode, but I do remember remember seeing something from the like late 70s or mid 80s of Sylvester Stallone doing commercials like in Japan because he thought it would be funny.
Well, you would see that you would see them doing some commercials overseas, but you would never see them in the US.
And I feel like they weren't hawking like every celebrity has like an alcohol, every celebrity has a clothing line, every
Yeah,
celebrity has blah blah blah.
no,
It's annoying.
that's a recent thing. That's what like Ryan Reynolds. I don't even know if he's in movies. He's just a spokesman for companies he's involved with.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and it's like what they do is it's called captured audience. You got them, they're your fans now. How can
Yep.
you just milk them dry? So that's what they do now, and it's pretty fucking. I mean, I'm not. Uh, I'm like, you
It's
make a
annoying.
lot of money from movies already. Do you need to make this much more? Like I just don't know. Being a guy who was poor most of his life, I'm like, you just, I don't know. I've done so
Yeah.
much with so little that I don't even.
Everyone's about getting the bag now, so no one says
I
anything. That's like
guess. I mean,
everyone's all about, hey, get the bag, blah blah blah. It's still annoying. It's still annoying as shit. Yeah.
yeah, no, I just wish, but when it starts wrecking these people's movies careers, that's when I think it'll start to make a difference. But what do I know? All right, Maddie, I don't know where you went, but we'll see you guys next week for another exciting edition of the Sports Hole.
Sports
Later, everybody.
ho.
Bye.